I named this video August, September due to the fact that a lot of these things that are playing out and moving over to September are going to resonate. And, you know, this can be a time really where we will hear from people from the past. So do be prepared. I did see a few synchronicities yesterday, and it was really relating to one side of the fence. Hi, Angela. And it was funny because on this road sign, it was like twin number 1. And I went, oh no, okay, so we're going to channel those energies. And I was like, and then it come up again, twin number 1. And I feel there's something that could be an imbalance. But again, because we're moving into the energy of Libra, you know, we might be looking at that. And from the feminine perspective, we had a lot of Virgo energy, which, you know, I was sort of saying, yeah, I'm really excited about Virgo energy because I'm going to look at things logically. Yeah, a little bit too much. Too much of a good thing. No shade on Virgo, you know, but it's very intellectual, so to speak. And, you know, so a lot of you might have been experiencing headaches. You might have been experiencing, yeah, just, I wouldn't say fog. I would say critical energy. There was a polarity that was coming through in the collective that, you know, and I've had to really, really sit with energies this month and go, wow, this is very interesting. This is very synchronistic. Why are these themes coming up? So the one thing I can say is the critique, the inner critique, the seeking of perfectionism, maybe trying to understand why certain things happen so we can avoid repeating those patterns, looking at the devil in the detail. It can accidentally, so in our opinion base, come through egotistical. And, you know, many astrologers did talk about this portal as sometimes we can actually tap into a little bit of narcissism, it could be, but it's not to say that that's what happened to you, but it's, you know, our prejudice and our ego where we might have had a value system coming up. We had the full moon in Aquarius, and it's all to do with our lineage and our tribe. And, you know, I've had a lot of inboxes. Plus, because we did have Virgo and Pisces, a lot of what is playing out in the collective is to do with health. And on that notion, it's almost like the propaganda, you know, he said, she said, and trying to make up our minds what resonates and what's correct for us. And the thing is, there's no wrong or right. And again, the Virgo polarity is almost seeking this perfectionism in the collective. So within our own lives and within twin flame, it is very much looking at head and heart, because Virgo is Chiron energy. It's also the healing of it. It's your health. We had, you know, the shadow sign of Aquarius is heart chakra. It's Leo. So yes, there has been heart palpitations. There's been heart chakra activation. And I did say, moving towards the 30th, be very careful with your nervous system, because we are going to be having Uranus and Taurus going retrograde. And for those of you with ascension symptoms, the reason I studied astrology is to help you understand when those transits are happening so that you're prepared. It has felt very okay, stagnant, flat line, where we have been integrating, feeling like it's ghostly quiet. Hi, Diva. I'm trying to find this bloody room. I can't find it because I'm talking too much. You talk too much. You know, looking at it, the external, and then looking at the internal, but the nervous energy, it can get worse. Number one is because the full moon in Aquarius is very Uranian energy. Then on the 30th, when we do have Uranus and Taurus going retrograde, I believe it's the 30th, you're going to start feeling it now. You need to eat food groups to protect your nervous system. You need to be mindful of the people you're surrounding yourself with. You need to not take what people say personally. You need to disconnect and integrate and get grounded. And many times, especially in the twin flame community, we tend to go through that ahead of time. Big shout out to Princess India. I noticed that she's changing her profile on Instagram, which I thought was quite unique because I believe she's a Taurian. And, you know, we are going to be having Mercury retrograde, which is going to act like a Venus retrograde. So with the Uranus and Taurus energy, it's innovation, it's transformation, it's change, and it's, you know, shifting very quickly. So all of us collectively inside of our lives, it's almost like we want to renew, we want to come outside and change and evolve. But again, if you're going to make these changes, they could then change again. But there is this recreation of who we are, especially those of you that are feminines. We're coming through in a very different way. We're requiring a lot more balance, both of ourselves and other people. We might have really been casting a critical eye on some of these things and realised we've actually had a rebirth, especially since the Lionsgate portal. And so that can feel quite scary with that integration. You can be sort of getting to a point you're saying to yourself, does that mean it's over? Does that mean that old version of me is gone, therefore nothing else can come towards me, especially the divine masculine? So these fear-based frequencies can particularly come up. And for the life of me, I can't find this room. I'm going to flick through and be quiet. There it is. So 2.5. So quick. And now I've lost it again. Okay, it's freedom. That makes sense. Okay, I'll leave it there. So it's the need to be yourself. And I remember doing one of the videos that was for the twin flames, and it was the courage to be disliked. And, a lot of the astrologers that were talking about full moon in Aquarius were talking very positively to do with more understanding and empathy, which, yes, we do. But again, we can be, YouTube is, Aquarius. So again, speaking about certain things to do with health, as I mentioned, it's impossible to do such. And if you do, there's consequences for actions. Saturn is the Lord of restriction. It's currently in retrograde. And yes, Libra at the moment we have. All of those Libra placements, especially towards the 13th, 14th, we're having Mars move into Libra. It's in its detriment in Libra, and you might find there's more laws. You might find that we're looking at, with our love life, what you can and can't do. And this can be at a collective level as well as at a very spiritual level. I would say, and I don't know how I'm going to mention this, how I'm going to articulate it in a politically correct way. We are going to be having Venus move into Scorpio at some point. All right, next month. Practice good intimacy, health practices, okay? It's not that it's a bad thing, but intuitively what I am picking up is, especially because Mercury retrograde is going to act like a Venus retrograde, practice safe doings, if you get my gist. I'm speaking politically correct here, because you might end up getting something that you didn't quite bargain for. So just practice good, intimate connections, okay? It'll be bizarre, but we may, Libras and Aries, we might deal with that differently, I would say, but at the same time, collectively, everyone's going to be reacting like a Libra. How do I get balance? Very similar to the Virgo transit, we were looking analytically. We were seeking quality systems and perfectionism, and health in the collective was coming up. Yeah, glove up, definitely glove. Oh, speaking of which, did you hear the news? My twin called me this morning and I was like, I didn't want to hear about that. There was a conversation about a gentleman. I don't even want to talk about this really. Bless his possum socks, he's transcended over. But on that notion, go have a bit of a goosey gander, and yeah, it's in the media. This gentleman passed due to using a very innovative means to protect thyself, which backfired, and God rest his soul. I was like, why would he call me to tell me that? Anywho, and on top of that, us Libras have to be careful because of communication at the minute. Anyway, now I am seeing from the ruin that has come through for the Twin Flame Collective is that we are looking at ways we can free ourselves. We are looking at ways we can come to a place that we can speak freely, we can react authentically. Look, and, in a balanced sense, sometimes when we're seeing what's happening in the world, we can be feeling, gee, we're quite stifled, we're quite controlled. But, whenever I have found that there has been a restriction or anything, there's always been something else I've needed to look at in my life that needs higher octane addressing. Sometimes we go into hermit mode through ascension. Other times it can be forced upon us. The universe can do that too. But when it is, it's because we're preparing for something. So trust it. Trust the process of what's occurring. And definitely from here moving through to September, both in your twin flame path and in your own life, look at the things that aren't resonating with you. Hi, Stefan. How are you? Now, okay, let's see what's happening between the couple gem, and I will connect into those of you in communication as well. Moving from here into the month of September, I will say look after your nervous system, protect your crown chakra. Things can be happening very fast. Things can be moving extremely fast in the realm of love. Taurus is very much an energy of love. And it can be transformations. It also can be spiritually speaking. Your nervous system can be quite overwhelmed by the emotions that can come up, but also with the need for transformation and change. So safety, victim consciousness, I wouldn't say abandonment. I'm not really feeling abandonment, but tension. Tension nevertheless. It also can be how are you going to provide for yourself? You know, is everything going to be okay? What is the give and take in this connection? And as Mars moves into Libra, I do feel blasts from the past really are going to be coming back in the months of September. Some of you will already, ahead of the transit, start gaining communication. I'll let you guys comment and pick left or right for feminine. And then we'll start. So yes, to expect communication. It's not a bad thing, especially not during a Mercury retrograde. Well, I'm kind of glad. Especially during, it is Mercury retrograde, but it's time to reflect. It's time to communicate. But it is going to react a little bit like a Venus retrograde because it is in a Venus sign. Balancing is going to be, I would say, a little bit challenging, but it's going to really help us develop that, that knack for addressing what is relevant and what is not. You're definitely going to see what you do and don't like. But I feel these conversations coming back between masculine and feminine and in your own lives collectively, because yes, sometimes in this realm of the twin flame connection, some may have a karmic on either side. Others, it may be that you have one party that does, one party that doesn't. It is a bit of a calm before the storm. Now, I do feel all of you collectively are being prepared, and I do feel a lot will be leaving jobs, a lot will be moving homes. There is a spiritual shift in the collective. I do see the feminines at the moment. It's almost like your energy has been redirected back onto yourself, and that's potentially why I saw the sign on the side of the road as twin one. And that's what it said 3 times. It was like, okay, get into duality. But I do feel it's so that we're not enabling, so we're allowing and in receivership mode so that the other party can reflect upon actions, words, desires, and integrate. But I do feel they already are integrated, but both parties are needing to be quite individual at the moment, but it's going to move very quickly. It can feel personal, but we'll get into their cards nevertheless. Now, the overall energy is to do with freedom. So we might feel as though spiritually, if we move forward, we kind of can't, you know, and I talked about this with Giggle the other day. In my twin flame connection, the separation I had on the last occasion, you know, during that time, I had really detached. And what do I mean by detached? Whenever I have come to terms with something, or made peace with it, I've had communication. On this occasion, it was very different. And you always find that, you know, I always used to say to myself, gee, why is it when I just get my crap together, I get communication? And it is because you are in detachment, but because you feel free and you're open, you're not feeling so guarded and protected, you're able to manifest that in. I was looking at a twin flame channel on Instagram, and because I am in union, and, you know, the inner work is really important, you can actually manifest your twin flame path today. It sounds crazy, but it's as simple as moving through the wounds and being open and moving away from any attachment. So sometimes it can take about a week, but it can be you really practicing the detachment. If something from a psychological point of view is coming up and you're saying, yeah, but they're in a third-party relationship and, I know what it was like when I was in that. All of that, shove it to the side and say that's not real. As soon as you can start integrating that, I can guarantee you, if you can work and be very firm on yourself, within a week it'll shift. Anytime you get triggered and you go back to that mind BS, come back to this moment. Best advice I can give you. Come back to this moment and detach like it's not your job. They're acting strange, not your job. They're not articulating. Well, say your piece. You can say, well, I'm not a rocket science. If you have something to say to me, you can say it to me. And just detach from that notion, because at the moment, both parties could be a little bit in their head. And also with Virgo polarity, we can be casting a critical eye and thinking a lot. And thinking can be control. But thinking can also be manifestation. So we do need to be careful about what's going on there. Now, this is horse, okay? And there's no I in tameless coming up, but I did mention we can be in a team and we don't have to be it. We don't have to be like-minded. We can accept individuals. We can accept other people. And that was one thing that came through on my journey, is that I felt everything needed to look a certain way. And what do I mean by that? Yes, I did have benchmarks. I did reach the point that I had benchmarks and went, okay, if you do this, YILDIZ, this is going to be adverse. You know better, you do better. So I was quite strict with myself. But could I mix with people of all shapes, sizes, walks of life? 100%. And it didn't define me, because I was creating the healthy boundary with myself that if I could do something, I would. But if I couldn't, I would not do such. So you still can mix with all sorts of different people. You still can be part of families where you feel like you're the black sheep. And the mirror is, we all are the black sheep. Okay? But you'll move through that. You'll resolve it. And you'll be like, that's so yes, dears. Horse, air. Yes, we are moving into intuitive energy. So, Aquarius is very intuitive. It's the bearer of water, but it's the give and take. Funny enough, tribal group in the face of competition from aggressive neighbours. Depends on the horse master and the number of the horse they could breed or captive. Pegasus, Odin, to whom no obstacle was insurmountable. Breaking into the wild horse, more than brute force. It does link to Mars, man and beast. Travel, partnership, marriage, self-control. Inner journey, astral projection. Okay, reversed. Recklessness, haste, disharmony, mistrust, and betrayal. So again, the Virgo mind is taking us there. I do feel you may intuitively be picking up on the other party's energy, but also if psychologically and emotionally, and this does come up when people discuss the twin flame path and they say you have to heal prior to reunion. Only from a perspective that if you don't trust someone, how are you going to let them in? And it's not for the other person, it's for you. So you don't have to live Freddy Krueger on magic mushies. You don't want to. You want to live the most high vibe life where you can feel it happened, it wasn't okay. I have the power to give another person a chance or to cut it off. That's my control. So when you can come to that space, you're actually opening it up and you're breaking a pattern. You could go through a person's phone, you could do any of those things, but it needs to be that that person naturally transforms. This person at the moment has this feeling as though you're detaching. And detachment doesn't mean abandonment. Detachment means you're not controlling how their healing process goes and what that looks like. That sometimes you can empathically understand, because you've been where they've been or they've been where you've been, but it doesn't mean to say we can enable, because learning these lessons, having these choices we need to make in our lives, they're very individual, okay? This freedom is going to help us move forward, okay? And I do feel at the moment the masculines can be really looking at the past, really looking at needing to leave things behind, maybe even feeling misunderstood. And this again is integration and a personal transformation. But it also can be a deep reflection over all the changes they've been through. And sometimes if this person is in fact in a karmic relationship, the changes they've made to no avail. This can be where the individual gains closure. And I do feel really reflecting back again, you know, Mars and Virgo, it's reflecting back and wow, I wish I knew better. I would have done better. Being really hard on themselves, but at the same time blocking out things that maybe were healthy for them. I do feel they know that you had been very patient in the past, but they also realise that they have been patient with the wrong things. It's funny, my throat chakra is going all of a sudden. At the heart of it, I do feel as though they are really looking at how independent you've had to be. Some of them are feeling guilty that maybe you've gone through something most recently and they haven't been able to be there for you. They've been there for other energies. And this might have been a health-related dynamic. It might have been even emotionally or spiritually. And they know that you're deeply independent, but they do feel to a degree they haven't been there for important things that have happened in your life. I do feel through you they are directly learning. And it's almost like they just want to throw caution to the wind and really jump in the deep end. But there's whatever these loose ends and tying up of new beginnings are, I feel as though they're looking back to it and wishing they just chose you, wishing they had just, you know, but again, they are being very critical of themselves at the minute. They do want to give you the world and they're trusting the process. And I do feel really moving into the month of October. I don't know why I mentioned October is very relevant for some reason. I've been psychically seeing it quite a bit. Between September and October, it's major transformations. I just get this feeling that what they're doing is really just, they're going to move hell and high water, and I feel they're ready to risk it. I don't feel they're going to be looking at it from a perspective of, how do I put it? Is this going to be okay? Do they understand me? Like, it's not psychoanalytical. It's throwing caution to the wind. They know done on it, there can be infinite ways this can go, but they feel, you know, if they keep doing such, I feel these fears that both parties are having is due to misunderstandings, due to fearing rejection. I feel feminines, as you move forward, this is actually motivating them, but they may have misinterpreted some of the communication in some shape or form, especially for those of you that had been in communication in and out through the last few months. I feel this is starting to make sense to them now. Whoa, okay, I misunderstood that. Whoa, okay, you know, having the time to actually dissect the dialogue, the interactions that you guys had in the past, and I feel it's making a lot more sense to them at the minute. Yeah, I really feel they had some wounds from the past, maybe feeling that, you know, and again, this was helping them face their shadow. This was helping them face the mistrust because it was linking to a previous situation, not you. The crosswise that have been coming through, I do feel were quite mirrored. But I am now seeing that, you know, they're realising that they do, they know they need to choose something. They're choosing better for themselves. They're looking at what does and doesn't work. For some, it can be the foundation of what they're dealing with currently, is a codependent connection or a codependent situationship. And maybe from a point of view of placing thyself in a naughty corner through honours and commitments, they may have, but they have seen to this point directly what it is. So they have reached acceptance with it. I feel they know that if they don't move forward, they're really not going to be happy. And they're also realising, very similar to you, Divine Feminine, that in their life with the people they had been around, when we know better, we do better, quite frankly. And I feel sometimes we don't even know that we have accidentally enabled someone or felt as though we have to be better because another person maybe has lack. And I feel this overcompensation energy has come to a head. I feel they're very tired and weary. I also see them almost on autopilot. For those that are in a karmic relationship, I feel it's almost like they're on autopilot. You know, eat, pray, repeat, Groundhog Day, very much in a sense not physically present. Yeah, sort of looking back and saying, why have I been patient? You know, it's almost like when something continues to repeat, it's like eating hay. Yeah, it does. It feels awful, actually. But the other thing I can say through their vibe is they're accepting. They're like, nah, this is not me. This is not me. I've seen what it's like a bad movie on repeat. You know, Groundhog Day I could watch a few times. Beetlejuice maybe. Right, 100%. It's like they're calling Ghostbusters, but they realise through doing such and trying different ways, it's taught them a lot about themselves. It's really going to benefit them moving forward. It also will benefit your connection with them moving forward because they will become a whole person. They did have guilt, and I feel it's through mother or father energy, but more the conditioning. Now they're kind of like, no, it's not about a choice. It's all been about them. So I feel whatever these paths are that they're taking with the give and take, they look at you as a go-getter. They look at you as someone who can do everything. They feel you shouldn't have to do everything. At times, they're also looking at the fact that they're very hard on you. Hard on you from a point of view of believing you can do everything and that you're invisible, but invincible, so to speak. But you know, realizing that you're human too, and that you can't and you shouldn't have to. Yeah. And I don't think it's that in general they feel that. It's just they find that you are able to hold your own. So sometimes they don't want to step on your toes or disrespect you. Yeah. They don't want anyone to be with you. But they know that they can't control that. They know that you deserve the very best. They do want you to be happy. They don't want you to feel that you owe them anything by any means, but they do spiritually want to connect with you. And they are actually looking at this as a long-term commitment. And this is something that I really do physically feel. If this person's in a karmic relationship, they've already made their mind up. How they're going to relate to it is looking at what they want. And I feel for the first time in a very long time, they're actually saying, okay, this isn't about the feminine. This isn't about the karmic. This is about what I want. And I feel that's the pure authenticity because it's never been a competition. It's always been about what path and where are we from a mirrored point of view resonating. And I feel they're at the higher octane level, but they're deeply reflective. I feel any little glimmer of hope that Divine Feminine has given them, even if there was fights and conflicts, I feel they're kind of really looking at the whole story as a whole, not just dissecting all the bad parts. Do you get what I'm saying? So I feel overall they do really want to know so much more, and I feel that they're understanding of the reasons why you reacted. So they have this high level of respect. Let's have a look what's happening with karmic. I don't have, yeah, I feel they're quite surprised that they feel in their life that I also feel the karmic energy is aware of this. I feel the karmic energy is aware that both parties need this connection to transform, but definitely that the masculine has now transformed. I do see a lot of the masculines at the minute being super quiet towards the karmic, for those of you with the karmic person in the middle. Yeah, and it's very like, how do I put it? I think they're sensing that the masculine is focusing on the feminine being more than just a friend. Yeah, definitely. I do feel they're talking to maybe family or close tribe members. But I also feel as though they're looking at Divine Feminine as family. Tribe, family. I think they've got a surprise up their sleeve. Here's a weird one. Okay, those of you that were married, they're actually feeling that they wish to do this with you. I feel some of them, if their mother had passed over, it feels a parent figure. There's a parent figure that is communicating with them through their dream state. And they're giving them tips. Okay. Cool. Sorry if I'm not reading your comments. I'm channeling. They don't want them to do things that aren't good for them. And I feel they're actually helping them heal. I also feel as though if there was codependency or substance energy coming through, it's almost like that's being purged. It's funny. It's almost like the channeling coming from the other side is saying, no, you have a soul path. You have a soul path. I feel they're detoxing them. But they're also... Oh, God, okay. They're also giving them nightmares. This sounds really bizarre. They're giving them nightmares to show them the worst case scenario to help wake them up. That sounds full on. Thanks, Marapa. That sounds interesting. Feminines, this is where you guys are at. So, yes, you might have had a few tower moments over the last few months. Emotionally, physically, spiritually. Where you're at, you know, really reflecting on the past, really reflecting on the hurts and the betrayals, maybe a lot of those things coming up. I feel you're moving away from that now. I feel you're trying to let that go, let that not define you, because you know in your higher octane that it's not helping you ascension. Well, yeah, ascension's ascension, you know, it comes and goes. You'll find that when you're healing, what your body can handle, it will give you. It can then shut down till your body integrates and upgrades, and then it can come back again. And sometimes it a little bit does look like you're up and down, okay? It's very normal. Obviously, if you feel it's going really bad, always go get help. I do feel the reflection back to the past and different things that had happened had really haunted you. There was a lot of fear involved. Now where you're at, it's like it comes back in ebbs and flows, but you're really taming it. I really feel you're being super strict with yourself, that you're not allowing it to affect your vibe moving forward. Because overall, you do directly feel you have a spiritual connection. Now, I do feel some of you might have felt a little bit judged in the past, might have felt that maybe misrepresented, misunderstood. For some reason, there could be somebody that you were spiritually connected to, and I feel very separate to your twin. That can be coming up, but you'll find directly, it could be a lot of things, but I do feel you want a judgment. You want to have your happiness. You're sort of feeling, when's your star coming? You know, when is this happy ending coming? For some of you, the notion of marriage may be crossing your mind, but it's more the spiritual connection as such. I also feel that in your heart, you want to be happy. Like you want your twin is wanting you, but at the same time, you don't want the toxicity back. This might have been a huge blockage to actually be able to have both parties open. I do feel it's moving. I do feel the sacral chakra energy is going to be reactivated between the two twins. But I also feel you want plans. You know, you want the mover shaker. You want those things. You don't want to be sad anymore. You want to choose whatever is going to be best for you. You're allowing the universe to bring it in. You're trying to keep us grounded, but the intimate energy is going to get very high. I'm just going to say, okay? The chemistry is going to be high. Some of you are going to start changing your appearance. The only reason I'm saying this is the Star and the King of Wands. It's almost like I'm being shown chemical reactions occurring. Some of you are going to get very insinuendo-y messages. Let me put it that way. I don't even know if that's English. That energy started today, yeah. I'm hearing a song, but I don't think it's appropriate to say it on YouTube. I'll post it in the community tab. And you'll know what I'm talking about, right? There's a lot. It's almost like you feel this person's fantasizing about you because it's all getting hot and heavy. It's a waking up. Okay, you're just, I think it's because you're moving forward energetically. You might feel really tired, but it's like all this hot and heavy energy coming through. No sooner are you maybe colouring your hair, getting yourself ready, moving forward. I'm kind of getting the feeling that you're just very focused. That beauty pro, I just got my hair done today. So it's all looking, buttoned up. I don't know. It's looking pretty sussy here. I'm just saying. It's almost like you guys feel. How can I put it? You're going to turn the radar on. Oh, thanks, sweet. You're going to turn the radar on. You're not giving anything unless you want to. Some of you, even if the chemistry's there, it sounds funny, you probably won't put out. I'm just saying. It's like, show me the money, okay? Show me the money. And it's not, like, no, it's, come on, there's more to this connection than just that. There's so much more. But the chemistry is going to really rise. It is feeling really... both of you are like, okay, have we healed enough to be together? You're avoiding the let's just get it down to intimate. You want so much more. And, you're thinking, gosh, is this going to change if we keep going this way? It's causing stress, but it's it may be that one party is in a karmic connection and coming towards the other. And that might have been an on-off kind of repeat cycle. And I feel some of you have really got to a point you're thinking, we've got to break that Ferris wheel. We need to break that cycle so that this can transform. And I feel the masculines are really feeling that at the moment. Those that aren't in the karmic relationship, it's still the trust, and really building down to, bridging that gap where we're showing a spiritual connection, we're communicating effectively. I do think conversations to do with the past will come up nevertheless, and this is between do we, don't we? Dramas with family. I do feel both parties, feminine and masculine, have had things happening at home and families and groups. And potentially it's almost like both parties looking at it going, when are we going to prioritise us and then it? And that's potentially why I saw twin number 1 on the post sign. I feel it's where both individual twins are having to choose for yourself and create those healthy boundaries in your circle so that you can have that story, so that you can have that opening for love. Okay, it feels as though there's an injustice, and it might be that whatever was going on, maybe even a third party, it could be external influences, it can be work and family, whatever this is, this month is going to bring it all out. It's like skeletons in the closet coming out, but it's going to be there to heal. It's going to be there to get to a point where we can discuss it. We can work out where we're at. Have we evolved? Can it shift? I do feel the masculine will be moving towards the feminine. I do feel communication is going to come through, but it is going to be to rectify the imbalance. Hi, Dawn. And, you know, it's almost going to require a sacrifice, because the feeling and logic from an intellectual point of view is if we don't value it, we lose it. And that's the gospel truth. And it's not through fear, narcissism, ego. It's through truth, you know, emotionally speaking. Sometimes being our own worst enemies, giving our power away. So I feel the energy is coming back into this twin flame connection. I'm going to pull 3 cards and then I'll answer your super chats. This feels like a turning point moving into September. I would say the last week, I'm feeling it. It's almost like you might feel like something really abruptly shift. Now, when you do, get ready, because it is coming in to be healed and you may be less ready than they are. I'm seeing something that needs to be healed is coming back from the past. You may feel this energy at night. You're going to have to trust your instincts. You won't know where it's come from, and it's going to happen really quick. You potentially do need to go with the flow of it and not have too much attachment to control it. So if this is a conversation piece, you know, dealing with it not being your own worst enemy, try to not repeat that cycle. Try to get down to the crux of it. There is a maturing here. Okay, this healing, what is it? Yes, letting something go so you can bring the new in. Letting it go. Otherwise, if we can't dig into, have this communication, it can put a stagnancy on it, and it may be more to do with blockages of fear of opening up. Balance your sacral and your solar plexus. Okay, now, if you do get paranoid and you're feeling as though, how do I put it? Because what I'm saying through about 3 or 4 of the cards, and they're really sticking out to me, is yes, if you get stuck, come through and book a reading, I'll just say. Because it can be that you directly are not feeling safe in navigating that. Of, okay, if this person comes back, how do I relate to it? How do I move beyond the wound so that I can communicate effectively and be open to it without sabotaging it? And that can be very difficult sometimes when we've gone through some real hurdles in our life. If that does come up, number one, I would say, towards this week, moving into next week, you know, really be aware your nervous system can be bothered, okay? Do breathing exercises. Use fluid to flush. Try to keep in the moment. I'd also say allow for the energy to come through. Now, the analytical mind can settle down within the first 2 weeks, but it can come back again as we go into Mercury retrograde. If you do find the negotiation of this connection in a sense of left and right, just allow the healing to come through naturally. Don't be strict with yourself. Just allow it to come through naturally. But some of you might be almost drawing, you know, a line and saying, hey, you know, I've got to do it right now. This needs to be fixed right now. If there are any blockages that come up, feel free to comment on the video. I'll try and give you a hand as I can. But it feels as though both parties do need to be open in order for this to move forward. But there is going to be a decision in the month of September. Any questions? That feels exhausting. I do feel some of you are psychically going to tune into a potential tower moment on the other party's side. So be prepared for that. Try to not have attachment associated to it. Allow the cycle to shift. But be prepared. Any good news regarding my stubborn pop? Okay, please check, how does she feel moving the office? Okay, let me get the cards. I'll choose these. Now, I've got all these cards here, and I probably need to pick them up and reshuffle. I feel... For the first question, Alice, I'm getting a feeling there's a lot of nervousness. I'm getting a feeling there's a lot of confusion. Confusion in a sense of how to feel. There is a spiritual connection here, but I do feel they're very, very confused at the minute. They're, you know, very hot and cold. It's hot and cold, and then it's very detached, and then it's very connected. It's very confused at the minute. I just mentioned you. I noticed your Instagram, you changed your profile. I was like, so you're on a Centaurus retrograde. How did your moon therapy go? I was watching your moon singing bowl, and I was like, man, I'm packing. This Libra be packing and moving. Okay, so we have, let me give you a heads up. So Alice in Wonderland, you asked how the connection with that person's going. I do feel at the minute they're very confused. I do feel at the minute they're getting to a point that, yes, it's hot and cold. It's wild, yeah. I pretty much reckon, I reckon it's going to be wild till the end of the year, really, but I think it's nothing that we can't all handle. I think we'll be fine. We just got to suck it up and do it, right? Yeah, I know, I need to get a singing bowl. Okay. Now, Alice in Wonderland, all right? I would say at the moment you need to be pretty centered. I would say at the moment you need to, as much as possible, allow what is supposed to be. You do need to be fairly independent. This is really going to require you to be quite independent. But especially because I do know your zodiac sign, you need to, in the month of September, really be careful about getting up in your head, okay? Because if you are getting up in your head, it's going to affect you, and you can be concocting stories. So I'd say really just go with the flow, because this can be a very confusing time, but it will ease up as we go. Who's the next to be? I hope that makes sense, sweet. Lois, how you doing, Lois? I don't know why I'm seeing something happen at your house, Lois. What are you doing to your house? You get all these changes going on. I feel unmotivated energy. I feel like you know all these changes are coming, but at the same time, you don't quite know. I feel you got detachment. Yeah, I just feel you're nonchalant. You're sort of like, oh, it's just, you know, it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? But there's a lot going on. I kind of do get the gist you may get communication, but it's probably because you're nonchalant. You know, it's always the way it goes. It's like, oh, so yesterday. Don't be surprised if your daughter gives you a message. She's popping up in my mind at the moment, and it feels as though it's like she may be getting some downloads and revelations, but it does feel as though there is a little bit of a message coming from her. I also feel after the download that she gives you, you may actually get communication. Check your emails, lady. Yeah, because I feel it's hush-hush. I feel the hush-hush energy is almost coming through like they've had to creep through the grapevine. Do you get what I'm saying? But there's something going on with your twin at the moment, because I kind of get this vibe that they've had enough. But they do feel the connection. She says, yeah. I'd steer clear from the karmic side of things. You know, just block it out in your mind's eye. But at the same time, I do feel there's something going on with your twin, and they may email you in order to communicate. But they're just, it feels a bit apologetic, and I think it's more to do with the requests that you had. I'll just leave it at that. But there feels this nonchalant energy, Lois. It's almost like you can't be bothered. You just want to move forward. They're very emotional as well. Who we got next? Giggle. Good news regarding Mr. Stubborn Poppy Pants. Well, I started doing Aries, and I tell you, Giggle, Aries, and because your twin's always up in my bloody grill, you wait till I speak to that one. We have spoken before, right? So, anywho, pretty hard month that they're moving into. I will tell you that now. So, for them, I would say do get prepared. I have been feeling all week that you are going to get communication, but the thing is, where they're at, they could have been taking a lot very personally. Now, that is set to shift, but the energy can be a little bit sooky at the minute. I do feel they're getting over it, though. I do feel they know that it's not about you. I do feel that, you know, they're really going to open up. But they're really critical. It's almost like, you know, thinking back to things that were said before, but there also could be information that they're currently dealing with that they're not too happy with. And I don't think it's anything to do with you, Dull. I think it's more to do with something that's going on that side of the fence. But I also feel a major decision about what they're doing in love. If they are in a karmic relationship, which I still don't really feel they are. And that may be sometimes because when you channel things, especially when you directly channel a human being, it's funny, you do channel their mind. So when you're channeling their mind, sometimes in their viewpoint, that person can be just not a partner. So in their mind, when you channel them, it's like they, you know, you don't pick up on that energy. But it's more because they don't relate it to a partnership. I don't really feel that the bugbear. And if that person is around, it may have been through empathy, but even on the empathy radar at the moment, there's not so much empathy. And a big decision is being made. They may have also heard gossip relating to this third party. And I almost feel like both parties are separated, but I feel there's more information coming through, which is really, it's cementing it, it's making peace with it, but I feel they're really open to the connection with you. I feel they just realise they have to get over the wounds of taking things personal so that they can communicate effectively with you. But I do feel more than likely there is a information that's going to be coming to you. Okay? Chemistry off the Richter scale. They're trying to tame it, but they won't be able to. I'm going to pull a chakra card for you. Yes, Alice Mondoon, I did mention yours at the other end of the video. They're having headaches at the moment, Giggle. It's probably where all your headaches are coming from. Because you're detaching, they're feeling it, but it's helping them ascend. Yeah. Oh, I want a coffee. Don't start. Ugh. Who else we got? The twin list, but I love listening to you start. Do you know, every time I look at your energy, I do feel your spiritual connection actually observing you at the moment. I feel they're around you quite a bit, even though you really can't be bothered. You know what I mean? You're like, it is what it is. I do actually think they're observing you. I think they're watching you at the minute. Yeah, very closely. Quite close by. And you're just getting on with life. You know what? It is what it is. Yeah. I mean, what could they not like, right? You're just like, look, I'm doing me, you know, and that's usually the way it happens. I mean, whenever I've really got to a point I've just focused on myself, I've always heard from my twin, and I'm like, seriously, I just got my life together. But it's usually because there's no attachment, right? You're just doing you. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, they have been for a while. I feel they have been observing you on media for a while now. You keep them on their toes. Good to know. Good stuff. Right. Mm-hmm. It's our job, right? Joy of being a twin. Who have we got? Emmy doll, how you doing? Oh gosh, Diva. I can't wait. Diva, did you want a card, or you just like, I'm going with my twin flame path the way it goes? How's the aquarium going, Diva? Bless his possum socks. Poor guy. Is his bike okay? I hope his bike's okay. Well, I hope he's okay, number one, but I hope his bike's okay. I was talking to Emmy doll the other day, and she sent me a video, and freaking enough, I was like, well, just saw her twin behind her, and all of a sudden she said to me, she goes, oh my God, did you see that? And I said, yeah, it was your bloody twin. It was like, whoosh. So yeah, do expect. It's her fault though, you know, she's being mean. She's sending photos and, you know, just like, hi. It was funny as hell. It was like, doosh, and then gone. And I was like, hi. But then I'm used to it. I've been seeing the past over since I was a child. So not that I liked that. You know, people that say, oh, you're psychic, it's a gift. It's like, yeah, no. That was like Nightmare on Elm Street going up. It's like, yeah, that's great. You're used to it now. Okay, whatever you've done, I'm telling you, they're trying to be patient, but they're kind of looking at you going, what are they going to send me next? Leave it for a while. Let it flatline for a bit. Give it a bit of cold turkey. Yeah. Free first, basket later. You want the main menu now? I want the main meal. Thank you very much. You've given the entree, right? Yeah, definitely. That's what I'd do. Okay. I did candy shop song keeps coming up. Take me to the candy shop. I'm telling you, the sacral chakra energy is activated. Just give a little bit of sugar, right? That's all. That's all, folks. But yeah, I do, Emmy doll, your mum's coming through at the moment. What's going on with your mum? Do be prepared. There's something going on with mum. Tell her I'm thinking of her. She might be a bit triggered in the next week, doll, so just keep an eye on her. Okay? You can message me if you like. Seeing 11 a lot. You're integrating. You're in duality. Dawn. I tell you, your zodiac at the moment, it is like, how do I put it? Those of you that are Sagittarius and Gemini, you're probably thinking you're being the Hades and back. It is going to get better. You're almost at the end of the 1st and the 7th house placement. It will ease up. But also, you can have major movements happening now, and sometimes we can feel like we're leaving a soldier behind, but other times you can be really liberating yourself and going, I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to be like the full card in Tarot and head for the hills. And it does transform. It does help transform you as a twin, because you're the yin and yang. And I was mentioning this the other day. Initially, especially when we hear different things on YouTube and that to do with the twin flame path, we kind of, it's hard to decipher unless you've physically walked it yourself. So trying to describe how to deal with it can be quite unique. You're always together. Why? Because you get the 5D, you're integrating. You then realize that you have to block that out to help the ascension. This person is knowing that you're transforming, and it's deeply frightening them because they actually have outgrown the old energy, but they're fearing that they can't. But the thing is, twins are there to trigger and to help each other grow. And so sometimes it's by your direct reactions and choices that does that. Because it's breaking that paradigm of enabling and codependency. And I feel just by you focusing on your side, even you saying, hey, you know, I want a little house. It's triggering that person to look at the shadow of what they're doing in their life and going, hey, is this actually relevant to me? Which is then not control. It's motivation for that person to go, hey, I'm having a light bulb moment here. This isn't for me. What am I doing? And I think it's actually challenging them to own their power. I do feel it does mean get into yin and yang as you are able to achieve things. Yes, they are. So if you have any fears that they can't address them, because, you know, especially when it comes to love, not everything's like tunnel vision. Twin flame path is, you have to be really non-codependent. You have to be deeply independent and be able to constantly do work on yourself. You also, you know, those boxed theories we have of our conditioning, the full moon in Aquarius was bringing it up. We're still purging that to a degree. We're still looking at it going, oh, you know, do I relate to that? We can be part of a tribe. Doesn't mean we are the tribe, you know, being an individual thinker, but having respect, integrity, and understanding towards other groups. I would say at the minute, if you have any boxed theories, just let go of it. Come back to this one moment and you're going to see the movement, doll. You're potentially thinking, what am I doing here? You know, but trust the process. Whatever you want to do for your life, trust it and just go do it. I hope you understand. But it's not a bad thing. I think this is a good thing. But you're going to see, and I would say 2 weeks max, you're going to see a shift with your twin. I do feel their energy really up to here. They're quite peeved. Just keep busy, okay? Keep busy and go, oh, what are you going to do with that? Be supportive. If they're young, just... With body language, if that person's in your sphere and they're agitated, if you can approach the verbal diarrhea individual, and you can lower the tone of your voice and you can lightly touch their elbow and then release and speak quietly, you can diffuse that situation. So it's going to calm the energy, and they have to mirror that then. They're like, they can be white noise and you can just go. And that just, you know, keep busy. Let them go through the purgatory experience. Yeah, I know, right? I think all of us are. It's like, you know, running around like headless chooks. Who was the next person? I'm sorry. I'm having one of those moving house unorganized moments. What's coming up for you, Vanessa? Vanessa. You want to make some major decisions, Dale, but you're second guessing yourself. There are some people around you at the moment. I feel you're trying to understand both sides of the fence. This can be something that's about to come, but I'm feeling it's right here, right now. What major decision are you stuck on there? And this doesn't feel necessarily that it's linked to love, but there's something in your circle of life at the moment that you feel that you need to be somewhere else. Does that make sense? It's like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? There's a bit... Life is going to feel a little bit weird for you for a bit. That's okay, Dawn. Yeah, Dawn, I also see a fight with the karmic. Keep away. Not with you, with them. A bad one. Bad one. Vanessa. What is this situation that you're dealing with, sweet? Because I'm seeing about 3 people around you. Vanessa's probably left the building. She's like, YILDIZ talks too much. I have started Aries as well. Yes, I want to be... Yeah. I feel you're having a soul walk and something in you has really shifted. It's, how do I put it? It's a bit like PTSD, and suddenly you have this wake-up call and you're like, why am I doing this? Who are these people? I'm in a foreign land. You're having a soul walk-in, okay? It's okay. The other thing is, if you're feeling this notion that where you're positioned isn't where you're meant to be, I do feel at the moment a lot of twins and a lot of souls at the moment are moving. So it can be moving location, mixing with people at a different level, but we're evolving and changing. I do feel things are going to make sense, but you may need to journal. I do feel you know what you want to do, but look at it two ways. If I was to go somewhere else, would my internal problems still be there? Because then that's pointless, right? Because they're a bit like a bad vacation. They come with us. Do you know what I mean? I said that to my father years ago. He goes, oh, I'm going to go to Europe and I'm going to stay there. And I started laughing and he goes, why are you laughing? I said, your problems are in here. You know, you can remove situations and resolve them wherever you are. But if they resonate here, you're taking them on the bloody holiday with you. And so he got mad at me, obviously, and he was like, why'd you have to tell me that? Because, you know, that was an easier notion. To leave, to abandon the ship, it's going down. So if it's that, not that I'm necessarily feeling it's that for you, I feel it's more you're just not resonating, darling. I feel as you just take a little bit of time, it's going to make sense within a week, I feel. Then you'll be able to make some major decisions. But I do feel you're going to bring new friends into your life. I do feel the things you're going to do, people might not understand the new vibration of who you are, because you're just going to be to the point. This is how I see it. You're going to make some major judgments, and they are going to take you. I mean, I'm feeling quite excited, not that you can see the energy on the opposite side of this. Right now, it's unmotivational. This doesn't really resonate with me, but on the aftermath of it, it's really exciting. It's almost like once you plant that seed, everything's really moving from there. Does that make sense? So it's positive. I don't feel anything negative. I also feel you might be having a conversation, or there might be something that somebody says to you, but there is some exciting news coming your way. I will say that. And it can be also on the love, but it feels positive. Doesn't feel negative. So just allow the integration to occur, but overall, I'm feeling you get some exciting news. Moonchild, how are you? One card about my health situation, and is my TF even alive? Usually, if you can't feel them, it's because you have detached. And a lot of times it can go ghostly silent. There is a part in the journey where you literally can't feel their energy because you are purging codependency, you're purging attachment, and it's actually a compliment. If you can't feel it, it means that you have moved through a stage. Another thing it can be, sometimes when we do get very 3D, it's almost like we're learning to integrate both 5D and 3D. When we're too 3D, it's similar to a psychic gift. It shuts down because you're operating and it's productive. Do you know what I mean? So if you have been a little bit too 3D at the minute, it's natural that you won't feel that energy because you're on mission, you're doing things. Once you stop, sometimes the universe kind of puts the door there and you're going, oh God, now I've got to stop. All of a sudden you have this purge because everything starts coming at you because your body's stopped long enough to get the radar. So we need to take moments of checking, are we keeping busy to avoid, which I don't feel that happening with you. I do feel it's more you've been super productive. So you haven't had time to connect in, but now that you've stopped, you're sensing it, and there's this little bit of a panic vibe, but it won't last. Yeah, because what's happening is there is a shift happening in the connection, okay? But you're also integrating and changing. Does that make sense? It's not a bad thing. It's natural. Yeah, man. I remember I was like, is this person here on the 3D? I was like, less ascension, right? Not that I wanted that for Tia. I just, I did get to a point. As long as he was happy, I was good. Whatever he wanted to do. But yes, they are. And yes, you've been too busy, so you haven't been getting your 5D. All right? Why am I hearing last hurrah? Cha, what have you done? What have you done? I'm seeing the ocean. I'm seeing a cliff. I'm seeing a conversation with an individual. This can be you going to the beach, looking out. It's evening. Very reflective. Very reflective. Are you thinking back to a memory, or are you at a physical location doing such? It's very it's still. It's quiet. It's reflective. There's a person in your surroundings that's leaving. It's coming closer. It can be an emotional time, but I feel you may be asked to go left or right. You need to work out whether that's relevant to you. You know what you want to do in that. If that's really where your life belongs, do you know what I mean? You got two paths still. I feel this could come through anywhere between now and mid-September. Look at the bigger picture. Look at if it's a temporary solution or you're permanently accepting. Because there's two paths, but you do need to pick for you authentically. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Because there's two paths here. I'm seeing two. I do see your career actually becoming quite busy. But it also could be you feeling as though if you go one way, it will alleviate one stress. If you go the other, it's uncertain. But it's if you move through that and you move into the fact that all life is uncertain. Nothing is cemented and permanent where, you know, Egyptian pyramids, for instance, wow, you know, they're still standing the test of time. No one's there. Some things are transformative and it's to live fluidly. But just look at the reasons why you're choosing. I think that's what my guides are showing me. Emotions relating to this individual that's going. But I do feel a question being asked of you. Does that make sense, Chuck? What is this? Kindred souls. Yeah. Yeah. I also feel a loved one on the other side is actually communicating with you. Did you wish upon a star? Did you make a wish on a star? You're saying wish upon a star. It's coming through. So it says, please trust it, don't jump. You ask Cupid for it, now be. Don't settle. I hope that lands. Well, I love yous all. I better love you and leave you. I need to go back to bloody packing. Maybe then I can get my beauty back in about a week or two. I have started on Aries. We have Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer up at the moment, and the members have the second level. We have Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. I have done an audio due to the fact I had hair dye in my hair and I was packing and I was looking wrecked. And they're quick and punchy, but they are going to cover you and prepare you for the month of September moving into October. Tell me how it lands and resonates. And I might even give a comment a freebie read. Okay? I'll see you all soon. Take care. I'll see you on the other side of the new house.